Hi guys, thank you for joining Taking Charge with Tamiko. Today's video will be a continuation of my previous video where I spoke about joining Weight Watchers, losing my first 5 pounds, and how my daughters was my biggest motivation. So after about a month at Weight Watchers, I lost approximately 20 to 25 pounds. I can't remember exactly which one, but I know it was one of the two. So if I lost 20 pounds, that would have taken me down to 257. And if I lost 25 pounds, that would have taken me down to 252. And although the people around me hadn't necessarily noticed that I lost weight, I felt the difference. I had more energy. My clothing was loose. I had a positive attitude. I was creating healthy habits. I was preparing healthier meals, excuse me, for myself, and my children. Every day when I went to work, I had my breakfast and my lunch already set to go. So I was creating all of these healthy habits and things were going really well. When I had Thanksgiving with my family, I was fixing my plate and I got a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and then I, sat down at the table to eat. And my Aunt Joy goes, one and done. And I'm like, yep, one and done. So it became more about spending time with the family than it did about food. And when I got there, I already knew what I was going to eat. I was going to have a small portion, and I was going to be done. We were raised in that clean your plate club. Back in the days, we were brought up in that. And so initially, it was really hard to venture away from that. And I had to, because there's no way you can clean your plate and still stick to your goals, so I had to let go of that mindset. And now I'll tell you, I'll throw away something in a second. If I've eaten, I don't care if it's from a restaurant or whatever, if I've had enough and I'm satisfied, in the garbage it goes. I don't have a problem with throwing things away now, but I had to get to that place. I had to get to that mindset because it was instilled in me that you sit at this table and you eat until you're done, but I had to venture away with that. I had to break that mold and create some better, healthier habits, and I did. And I noticed that my family, and my friends were just like watching the things that I was doing. Because think about it, there has been plenty of times that I was yo-yo dieting. I would lose 20 pounds and then I would fall back into my old habits. So, they were probably watching me to see if I was going to be serious. And I was, and I had to show them, and I did. Just as there was one of my family members that said that she didn't believe that Weight Watchers worked. And I said, okay, so I'm going to make a believer out of her. And so after I lost my first 100 pounds with Weight Watchers and I was down to 177, and I asked her, I said, do you think Weight Watchers work now? And she said, absolutely, so sometimes you have to make a believer, out of people. And sometimes you just have to show them that you're really going to do what you said that you're going to do. We say things all the time. Oh, I'm going to lose weight. Oh, I'm going to go back to school this year, and so on and so on. And then we never do it. So, it becomes that you're just singing this song and nothing is changing. So people don't expect nothing to change. But when you make up your mind to do it and to get it right, it happens, just like I did with this weight loss thing. And so as the time went on, I stuck with it. I religiously, planned my meals. I went to the gym faithfully. I went to the gym at 4:30 a.m. Talk about Talk about some dedication. 4:30 a.m. I would be up in my car, headed to the gym. And I would get my workout in, and then by 6:30 I would be headed back home to shower so that I could head to work at 8. And a lot of times it used to be my daughter and I doing it together, but even some days if she's like, I'm too tired, I'm not going, I would still go. I would get out of bed and I would just go. It was becoming habit forming. It was becoming a regular part, of my life, and I'm not going to lie, I was excited about it. To go from a couch potato to putting hours in the gym, I was hyped about it. And I was also hyped about how my body was changing and forming. My face was getting so slim. I didn't have the double chin anymore. My neck was getting really thin. I noticed that I wasn't as round as I, normally used to be. It was getting, I was getting smaller. And when I joined the gym, I did a lot of cardio, and I also did a lot of weight training too. And so, but initially, when I first went to the gym, 5 minutes was all that you can get out of me at a time. So at my highest weight, getting on those machines was intimidating. I was thinking that everybody was looking at me, and I was just like, in a way I felt like, what am I doing here? But I pushed forth anyway. Got on that elliptical, 5 minutes. In 5 minutes, it literally felt like my chest was going to explode. I felt like my heart was going to pop out of my body. That's just how tired I was in that 5 minutes that I was on that elliptical. But I did that 5 minutes. Think about it. I wasn't doing any minutes. So I did that 5 minutes. I sat down, guzzled some water. I caught my breath. Then I went and did 5 minutes on a treadmill. After the treadmill, I was winded. I sat down and I did the same thing over and over and over until I built up my endurance. You don't start out a pro. You start out a beginner. Don't be afraid to be a beginner. Regardless of your size, don't be afraid to walk in the gym. I promise you, people in that gym are not staring at you. People in that gym are inspired by you. People in that gym are just like, wow. They may not come up to you and say it, or maybe they will. But when you see heavier people in the gym and they making that time and they getting it in, that is encouraging. Just like when me going to the gym at 4:30 a.m., let me tell you what was there. Well, not what was there. The majority of people that were there was people that was 60 plus. 4:30 in the morning, 60 plus. Older men and women in there getting it in. And I was just like, if they could do it, I definitely could do it. What's my excuse besides I got a lot of extra weight on me? But if I'm in here getting it in like them, that weight ain't going to be on me for long. And that's what I did. Stuck with it day after day. My 5 minutes increased to 10 minutes, and my 10 minutes increased to 15 minutes. My 15 minutes increased to 30. And literally, eventually I was in the gym for hours. So, be encouraged. Regardless of where you starting at, start. Over time, attending that same gym for years, people would just randomly come up to me and they would say, oh my God, you have lost so much weight. I watch you on this elliptical and I'm so encouraged. And I said, I want to be like her when I grow up, and I would laugh and I would say, oh, thank you. Never in my wildest dreams did I think somebody was watching me, and I was motivating them without me really doing anything but what I was there to do. But all the time, men and women came up to me just sporadically and just would be like, you have lost so much weight. And I'm like, thank you, because I had no idea that they were watching. I had no idea that they were paying attention. So even when you think you're not, you're motivating and encouraging somebody. Isn't that mind blowing? It's just mind blowing to me that people were paying that much attention to me, to notice that I had lost weight, or, for the lady to say I was killing it on the elliptical. I thought I was just on there doing what I came to do, so that stuff was mind blowing. I'm just like, little old me. So, be encouraged, and you may be encouraging someone and you don't even know it. Isn't that just like an awesome part of life, that you're just going about your day doing what you're doing and somebody is encouraged? That is mind blowing to me. Even with me having this weight loss page and people inbox me, from Africa, Denmark, like all over the world. And I'm like, little old me? So it's, man, it's mind blowing. It's very humbling, and I just thank God, because I was just a single mother raising some kids that decided to go for it because she was tired of not having energy to chase her little girl around. And my little girl deserved better. But from all of that, came this whole different person. And then it became these people that was encouraged by it, and the same people that I encouraged, they also encouraged me, because who motivates the motivator? A lot of days when I feel like throwing in the towel, it's my followers on my weight loss page or my followers on Instagram that encourage me. And it's not like I have millions of them or hundreds of thousands of them, because I don't. But that doesn't even matter. It's just the fact that, they would inbox me and just be like, oh my God, I saw your before and after picture. You look like a totally different person. Or I've had people inbox me and say, do you mind if I asked how old you are? And I'm like, no, I don't mind. Then they're like, oh, you look fantastic. I saw your before and after pictures. And to me, that's just a blessing. I don't get a big head about it, because my goal was just to, again, have energy to chase my little girl around. That was my goal, to not be winded, to not be so tired, to not, look in the mirror and not like, what I saw looking back at me. So my goal was just to change my life and just to be a better mother, for my little girls. So after being on Weight Watchers for a couple years, honestly, guys, I don't remember exactly how long it took me to lose the weight. I was focused on the goal, not the time, because the time is going to pass either way. So honestly, when people ask, I can guess, but I'm not 100% sure how long it took me, So I went with Weight Watchers starting at the 277, as I previously said, and I lost my 112 pounds with Weight Watchers. And so I got down to 165 pounds, the perfect size 10, that I called it. So I started at a size 26, 28. And let me just say that over the years, when I've said to people that I started at a size 26, 28, people have literally argued with me and told me that couldn't be right. They said that to be a 26, 28, you had to be like 300 plus pounds. And I'm like, no, you don't. I am 5'2", so I'm really petite as far as height. And I felt like a lot of my weight was in my midsection. So I felt like I was really round. And I definitely was wearing a size 26, 28. I mean, I am the one that had to buy my clothes. So I think I know what size I was buying. Okay. So moving on. So when I got down to that 10, my confidence was like, my confidence was like off the charts. Like when I looked in the mirror, I was just like amazed. I'm touching my face. I'm like, oh my God, I don't have that double chin. I have a neck. I was so overwhelmed when I look in the mirror. I'm like, this is really me. I was, man, I can't even describe, but I was so proud of myself. I was praising God because I couldn't have did it without him. He was with me every step of the journey. On my weekdays, that was who carried me through. So I praise God. But I saw that person looking back at me, and I just smiled, and I'm just like, wow. And it just seems like literally men start coming out of the woodwork. Men that would not have given me a first or a second look at my previous side. Now everywhere I went, there was a male, seeking my attention, and I wasn't used to that at all. And to be honest, I don't necessarily think that it was just my weight that was stopping men from approaching me before. I think that it had a lot to do with my confidence, because I wasn't a confident big girl. I know some confident big girls that's out here killing it, that are beautiful, and I was never one of those. So I think as I got smaller and got to that size 10, my confidence started to rise. And I think that's what attracted all of the male attention. My size may have played a small portion, but I think it's that I now had confidence that was the main factor. And so it was 2008 when I got down to the 165 pounds. And that's also the year that I met my husband. And, we started dating. The kids were doing well, thriving, getting older. So, proud of their mom. And so my husband and I started dating and getting really serious. And we were in a committed relationship. And I started to relax. I never should have done that, but I started to relax and get way too comfortable. As time passed, I wasn't paying attention to my nutrition like I normally was. We were eating out with the girls way more than we should have. I wasn't getting up and hitting the gym the way, that I used to. And I'd say in about 6 months' time, the weight started slowly coming back. So I got up to 180. Next thing you know, I was 200. Next thing you know, I'm 210. And I ended up at 230 pounds. So starting at 277, I had only lost 47 pounds when I originally had lost 112. All of that weight was back except for 47 pounds. And I felt so defeated. I was once again so miserable. My husband was okay with my size. He loved me at 230 pounds. He thought I was beautiful. He didn't think that I needed to lose weight, but on the inside, I felt like I was dying, because once again, those insecurities had set in. I was back plus size, and I noticed that whenever I put on something, I start pulling at it all the time, just pulling at it, and I was miserable, and I thought to myself, like, I did all of this to be back here again. Oh, it was so frustrating. It was so frustrating. And that's how I applied this saying, sometimes you have to fight a battle more than once to win it. That's what I had to do with this weight loss thing. I lost that 112 pounds and got too comfortable and ended right back at 230 pounds. 230. So I was literally right back at, I want to say maybe a 2022, something like that, 2022. Wow. And imagine a 10 back to that 2022. I was defeated. And that was the start of part 2 of my weight loss journey. I had to start over at that 230 and go back and create those new habits again. Go back and get back on my exercise routine. Go back and start pushing away from the table. But this time around, the journey would be so much harder. This time, the journey would take so much longer. You think about, it's not just myself, and the girls anymore. Now I have my husband, so I had to take into consideration his feelings, but ultimately I had to get back on this journey because I wasn't happy. It's nice that he thought that I was appealing or I was sexy or, whatever, but I didn't feel that. And I had to realize that this journey was about me. It was about me looking in the mirror and being happy. It was about me being satisfied in life. It was about me having confidence. So I had to start all over again. But this time when I started over, I didn't start over with Weight Watchers. This time I decided that I was going to do it myself. I was going to use MyFitnessPal. I was going to watch my calories. I was going to log my exercises. I was going to start journaling, keeping a positive attitude, and just, try to this time totally change my mindset to where I don't have to keep fighting this same battle over and over and over. Okay, once, maybe twice, but after a while, it should have soaked in. It should have, it should have lasted up here, but it didn't. And so I decided that this time around, I was going to create those healthy habits that were going to be permanent. I was going to stick with it, keep my eyes on the prize. Again, I wasn't going to focus on the time. I was just going to focus on a goal. I wasn't going to kill myself with the scale. I was going to focus on non-scale victories. I was going to applaud myself for going to the gym. Every 10 pounds, maybe buy a new trinket or something. This time around, I just figured that it was going to be the last time that I was going to continuously fight the battle, of the budge. So, I'm going to end this video. Over the next few videos, I'll discuss when I started part 2 of my journey. I'll offer some of the tips that I've learned along the way. I also plan to show my meals, tell you about my lifestyle now. So it's going to be a journey. So I hope you guys hang in there with me. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe, comment, share. If this video has motivated you, drop me a comment. I appreciate you guys following me. I appreciate you guys watching the videos, and if you are encouraged, please subscribe. Please, subscribe and tell somebody else and let them, subscribe too. I truly appreciate all of the support that I've received over the years on my weight loss page. You guys are absolutely amazing. I appreciate you so much. So until the next video, you guys stay encouraged. You guys have a great rest of the day. And again, thank you for joining Taking Charge with Tamiko. Bye for now, guys.